By now you might have noticed that when I use a particular mech, I tend to use the same build on it over and over and over. Because usually if I want to do something different, I can just, use a different mech and it'll have different hard points, different, armor, weight, size, all that kind of thing. But you can, of course, change out the weapons on a mech and give it a completely different playstyle. So with this Catapult K2, I usually give it like medium or small lasers and then some kind of like AC-10 or something along those lines, maybe some sort of AC-5. So it's, small-ish lasers and then bigger ballistic weapons. And so I wanted to do something different. The K2 has bonuses to PPCs, and I wanted to pair that bonus with some kind of ballistics. And I don't use LB2s. Actually, I don't think I've ever used them before. So I decided to go ahead and try that, and try it with some light PPCs. I've heard a lot of people say light PPCs are pretty terrible, and they do kind of seem like it, but I wanted to just see if I could make it work anyway. So here's my just kind of weird build that, just to get it out of the way, is not a good build. I'm not recommending you play this. I've had plenty of bad matches and only a few where I really got to do what I wanted to do with the build, which basically is kind of sit back and shoot at things. The problem with the with both the light and the standard PPCs is that they have a minimum range of 90 meters. And in this game, 90 meters is practically point blank, so it might seem like that's not really such a big deal, but there are just a lot of mechs that can underrun you, and suddenly all of your PPCs are useless. So I try not to use, like I said, light or normal PPCs very often. But the LB2s in this case are kind of a decent backup. If something does get in my face, I have a very rapid firing weapon that's capable of, destroying weapons or components. But again, the kind of the idea with this build is that you want to be able to sit back at range so that your PPCs are very effective. And once they've stripped away some armor, you want to use them to then destroy components inside. Or like here, if you just want to kind of put maximum pressure on someone, you can just chain fire everything very, very quickly. Of course, you'll see here why I don't often use PPCs. I'm just a terrible shot.
Target destroyed.
And I think you'll see here in a second, one of the good things about any kind of PPC is that they temporarily disable ECM. Let's see. Oh, no, that's not this guy. So here I am doing that thing I always like to do and just stand right in front of a 100-ton mech, no matter what size my mech is. It actually works this time because I believe the guy shuts down right here. Yeah. And while he's shut down, I managed to take off, I believe, his side torso and arm. But anyway, I know I disrupted someone's ECM earlier, and I'll disrupt someone's ECM here in a minute. So, like I said, it's just a property that all PPCs have. If they hit the mech that was providing the ECM, then it'll be scrambled for a minute, and that ECM doesn't work. So it does provide some nice utility if you have better aim behind it. Yeah, that was had ECM. I'm not quite sure, or when I was playing rather, I wasn't sure what happened to that Thanatos. I have to assume that somebody killed him while I was looking at this Vapor Eagle. Yeah, that Asia 1024 was the Thanatos, so okay, now I know what happened to it. But when I went down here to chase the Vapor Eagle, I was looking on my left to make sure that I wasn't about to get shot in the back by the Thanatos. And I was so close to killing that Vapor Eagle, if only I had not backed up. But again, I didn't quite know where the Thanatos was. So I started to chase the squirrel, and I realized the fight was really too close for me to run off and do that. So I went back in the direction of my
New
team
target acquired.
and found two of their guys right in my face where my PPCs are useless. Thankfully, one of them was almost dead, so my LB2s managed to destroy him pretty quickly.
Damage.
And I got to kind of a mid-range position. Unfortunately, only two of my light PPCs are on my arms, so it's very difficult for me to shoot anything that's
New
much
target
above or
acquired.
below, you know, my torso line. And I really do wish that I had been able to help that Jaeger. I just don't have weapons that are very good at it. You know, because, again, I'm a bad shot, and my AC2s are decent at hitting a light, so I might have been able to help peel them off, but I have far too little ammo. You see, I just ran out. In the next match, because I do have another one of these that I will probably upload fairly soon, I increased the amount of ammo that I carry on this, so that I can avoid a situation like this, because this light mech just underruns me and I cannot do anything, because I have no LB2 ammo left.
XAC destroyed. Heat sink destroyed.
So in a situation like that, you know, you just kind of have to call for help and try to either get away or get to your teammates so that, you know, somebody can try and peel the light off of you. If for whatever reason the light left me alone, I assume my teammates took care of it, and so I wind up running from this griffin. And
Acquired.
I'm trying to take advantage of the damage transference mechanic that I mentioned in the Centurion video. I'm keeping my left torso pointed at him because that's already been destroyed, and I cannot lose my right torso. I'm using a
New
light
target
engine,
acquired.
and if I lose both side torsos, then my mech will explode. So I was trying to keep the left side at him, and thankfully the Nova comes and saves my butt. And this Nova does some very serious lifting throughout this whole match. But we're trying to find the last guy, and I believe he's right over this hill. Yeah.
Target acquired.
So again, being a bad shot. And then I land a shot here, but it doesn't really go where it needs to.
Target destroyed.
Really with this build, I think the light PPCs did okay, but it was probably the LB2s that were doing most of the damage. You know, 700 damage, 5 components chopped off, a couple of kills. I really do feel like most of that came from the LB2s, and so I'll benefit more from having more ammo in the future. But you can see there, it didn't do a lot of damage, but he really did that damage where it counted. And I don't know what the Jaeger mechs on both of our teams were doing, but they were doing some pretty good work.